Are you looking for a Scrum Master job? If so, then you are in the right place. Agile Core Community is the only place that is a one-stop resource for you to help you land your first Scrum Master job. Not only can you watch our videos and learn from our videos and all the unlimited resources that this community gives you, you can also join our free WhatsApp group from the link down below in the description of every video. Not only that, you can even join our mentorship programs in which we place you on a live project where you learn on-hand job skills. If you don't have any experience, this is the best place to learn how to become a Scrum Master with a live on project. And you can share that in your resume as well. If you are a person who's looking for a Scrum Master job and you don't have any experience, get in touch with me. Join our mentorship program and you will learn live on an actual project by being an actual Scrum Master. Nobody does that. Nobody can do that for you. I'm the only person that can help you land your first Scrum Master job. Not only that, if you're looking for a SAFe certification, join our community and I'll also help you get your SAFe certification. There's extra charges for that, but you can get your SAFe certification also through the Agile Core community. This community, this resource is your only solution. If you don't have any experience and you're looking for a Scrum Master job, this is your only place. I'm the only person that can help you. Thank you so much for watching. Now back to the video. What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to start by answering one simple question. The simple question is, how do you manage multiple teams? Now, where did I come up with this question? This question came up in an interview most recently that was held just before 2 days ago. And in that interview, they asked the candidate, how do you manage multiple teams? And this is a very commonly asked question. And that's the question we are going to answer today, or we're going to do our best to answer today. How do we manage multiple teams, right? Before we get started with that, guys, if you are watching this channel, if you find value out of this channel, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're looking for a Scrum Master job, click on the link down below. Let's set up a call. Let me help you get and land your first Scrum Master job. With that out of the way, let's get started. Now, first question is, how do you manage multiple teams? Now, first of all, let's start by taking the perspective of what is management. What do we mean by management? What is effective management, right? Now, effective management, or in our language as Scrum Masters, can also mean effective facilitation, effective coaching, effective mentoring, effective influencing, effective, ceremonies. All these things can be a kind of attuned with this term called effective management, right? Now, when the interviewer is asking this question from the candidate, how do you manage multiple teams? What they are trying to see is that candidates power or candidates base with all these things like facilitation, effective ceremonies, effective improvements in metrics, effective team conflicts, effective, mentoring, coaching, all these things, right? So what they are trying to understand is the power of the candidate in all these terminologies. So now, with that out of the way, let's answer this question: how do you manage multiple teams? Okay, so how I will answer this. So first of all, what are the signs of effective management in a team? Now, when I say management, remember these terms I mentioned, right? What are the signs of effective management in the team for a Scrum Master, right? The signs of effective management in the team can be multiple. Number one sign can be, how clear is the sprint goal that they are trying to work on in a sprint, and how well attuned are they on working towards that sprint goal? First of all, how clear is the sprint goal? Second of all, how good are they doing towards that sprint goal, right? Now, how do you make your sprint goal clear to your team, right? First of all, what you do is that in the sprint planning session, right, you make sure that there is a clearly defined sprint goal, that everyone understands of what we are working towards. Not only a clearly defined sprint goal, but that sprint goal has to match to a roadmap that we are trying to build, the roadmap that the business has, the bigger picture that the business has. We are trying to attest that that sprint goal towards that bigger picture, right? That towards the roadmap. Now, that is effective. That is what is called a perfect sprint goal. Now, once we understand what is a perfect sprint goal, now our goal is in the sprint planning session to make sure that we identify and we clearly and precisely explain it to the team what effective sprint goal is and what our sprint goal is going to be for the sprint. Now, that is clear, that is out of the way. The team understands what their sprint goal is going to be. The team understands how the sprint goal impacts the roadmap. The team understands how the sprint goal impacts the bigger picture that the business is trying to build together with the team, right? Now we understand that. First thing is having a clearly defined sprint goal, not only having a clearly defined sprint goal, also explaining how it matches back to the roadmap, how it matches back to the bigger picture, and explaining it clearly to the team. That's the first thing. Now, once that is done, the next thing will be during the daily scrum call for a scrum master to meet every day with the team members, and during the daily scrum call, reiterating that sprint goal over and over and over as we are doing daily scrum call, so that the team understands clearly what we are trying to build and what we are trying to work towards, right? Now, first thing, effective management. Have a clearly defined sprint goal as Scrum Master. Make sure it matches to the roadmap, to the bigger picture. Second thing, make sure you remind the team every day on the daily stand-up that what the sprint goal is, what we are working towards, how it impacts the bigger picture, right? That's the first thing you will do when they ask you about effective management. And you can explain it in the scenario. When I joined my team, we didn't have a proper sprint planning session. When I joined my team in the sprint planning session, I made sure that we had a clearly defined sprint goal. And when we had a clearly defined sprint goal, I made sure that this sprint goal is attached to the roadmap and is helping us complete towards a bigger picture. And I've also made sure that during the daily scrum call, we reminded each other of what the sprint goal is, what we are working towards, and what our main perspective and objective is, so that we are clear on what needs to be done. That is called effective management, right? That's the first thing. The second thing towards effective management is that to move toward that clearly defined sprint goal, during the backlog refinement session, everything, all the dependencies, the risks, the blockers that might pop up during the sprint have to be pointed out during the estimation exercise, during the backlog refinement session. These things need to be brought up and need to be kind of laid out, and there should be transparency on these things among all the hierarchies in the team. Yeah, we don't use the term hierarchy, right? But among all the hierarchies in the team on these terms, the blockers, the dependencies, anything that might pop up that might block us from doing our work during the sprint, that has to be brought out during the backlog refinement session. Once we are clear on these things, and the reason I say that these things need to be brought out during the backlog refinement session, the reason I say that is because not only will it force or it will catapult your team to do the proper estimation exercise, to do proper story point exercise, to do proper collaboration, priority ordering. All these things need to happen during the backlog refinement session, and you need to make sure these things happen. If these things happen, then the blockers, the dependencies, the risks, they are of no threat to you, because they will be brought out in the beginning itself, and you will have more than enough time before the sprint starts, before the sprint planning session. You will have more than enough time to make sure the stories that need to meet the definition of ready, they meet the definition of ready, and you will have more than enough time to make sure that all these dependencies, blockers that can stop you from doing your sprint, they get resolved, right? So what is effective management? Effective management is the art of making sure that the things that you are managing, the teams that you're managing, they reach their goals on time. Not only do they reach their goals on time, but also you have to make sure that the product that you are building is a good product, and the teams that you are working with, they're happy and they know what they are working towards. They're clear on what they are working towards. When they feel involved, when you are doing proper estimation exercise, when they feel involved, when they have less headache while they are working on something, when there is more clarity on what they are working towards, on what they are working on, that is effective management in a nutshell. Now, this is a bigger picture of what effective management is. Now, if we get to the nitty-gritty, it means a lot. Proper sprint retrospective, making sure everybody is participating in the sprint retrospective ceremony, right? Making sure problems are coming up in the sprint retrospective, team is discussing something, and those things are someone is getting held accountable for those things, and those things are getting improved, and the team sees that whatever they came up with in the retrospective, those things are improving as they are moving along. So they see the value in the retrospective. Planning session, you come up with a clearly defined sprint goal. When they see the value in the clearly defined sprint goal, and you're working towards, you're reminding them every day, and it matches to the bigger picture, the business vision, the business roadmap. Sprint demo, making sure that whatever you build, you are showcasing it in a proper way to the stakeholder point of contact, and you are showcasing to them the functionality that you have built, and making sure when the feedback is coming from the stakeholders, it's not It's not being dumped down to the developers. It's taken in a proper way with respectable parties on both sides, and everybody feels involved and respected and being appreciated for being part of the process. Effective Scrum ceremonies, clearly defined sprint goals, backlog refinement, estimation exercises, story points, collaboration during the creation of user stories and creation of and estimation of story points, and prioritizing and ordering so that disk dependencies, blockers, all these things are defined before we start the sprint. All these things constitute to effective management in the language of the Scrum Master. Now, that's one aspect of it. Now, the second aspect of effective management that comes into play is why a Scrum Master needs to be effective manager is with data. How you as a Scrum Master can use data to become effective manager. If you can measure something, you can improve it. If you can measure something, you can achieve it, right? That's the old saying goes. Now, what are you measuring? The thing that you are measuring is, let's say, velocity, sprint burn down chart, bugs, all these things are your metrics. They are your power base. These are the things you can use to track the improvement of the team, track the efficiency of the team, track the progress in the sprint, track the scope creep, track all these things, track the bug defect ratio, track how many bugs are coming in the code you're building, right? Track all these things, which will give you a better idea on what you need to improve using these tracking metrics. So one aspect of effective management is the team. The second aspect of effective management is the metrics, right? Those things come together to make a proper managed or a proper, managed team, right? Now, the question was, now that's one part of it, right? Use proper management skills, right? As a Scrum Master, proper facilitation, clearly defined sprint goals, clearly defined what we are working on, with that attached to the bigger picture, right? That's one aspect of it. Having proper estimation exercise, bringing out the blocker, the risk dependencies before the start of the sprint. That's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is the metrics, right? Using the metrics to track the progress of the team in an effective way, and tracking those metrics, showcasing those metrics to all the parties involved, whether the stakeholders, the higher ups, the management, whatever, right? The second aspect of effective management is, now this was a team related, and this I think that was it. I completely lost my train of thought. I hadn't written down in notes. This was just raw, and I just got this question on WhatsApp, so some candidate, and I thought of just talking about it. That was one aspect of it. Having all the proper Scrum ceremonies, having the backlog refinement, the clearly defined sprint goal, and then the tracking, the using the measures and things like that. The other, okay, yeah, I remember. Okay, multiple teams, right? The question was asking, how do you effectively manage multiple teams? That was the question. Now the multiple teams part, right? So you as a Scrum Master, most of the time you will be managing multiple teams, right? But how do you effectively manage multiple teams? First of all, you need to understand which team is more mature, which team needs more help from you as a effective manager, as a Scrum Master. Which team needs more help? If team A needs more help from you, team A is less mature. Team A is having more conflicts, more friction towards what they're building. Team A is facing a lot of challenges. Then team A needs more help, right? That means that team A will need more help. So you will focus more on team A, building all these practices into team A's processes. And when you build all these practices into team A's processes, their processes will improve, their maturity level will improve. And you will focus less time on team B because their processes are already somewhat mature. They need time, but not that much time as team A. So now, effective management of multiple teams. What is effective management? Clearly defined sprint goal, proper backlog refinement, facilitation of ceremonies in a proper way. All these things are tuned to clearly defined sprint goal. Not only that, not only having a clearly defined sprint goal, but also metrics that go along with these clearly defined sprint goals, metrics that go along with all these Scrum ceremonies that help you efficiently and accurately track all the things that you are improving or want to improve and things like that. That's one part of it. The second part of it was, even I forgot. Why do I keep forgetting this point? Yeah, the second part of it was, what the hell was the second part? I forgot. I completely slipped my mind. But yeah, so that was multiple teams, right? Multiple teams. Which team is more mature? Which team is less mature? The team that's more mature will deserve more time from you. The team that is less mature will deserve less time from you. Of course, based on what's the friction level within those teams when they're building the work, what's the level of ceremonies they're having, how efficient are those ceremonies, how good are those ceremonies, how much facilitation efforts they need from your side in those ceremonies. So all these things play a part in maturity, right? Backlog health plays a big part in maturity, right? How are they doing things, in a basic way? How are they participating in the ceremonies, right? Who's speaking, who's not speaking, right? All these things play a big part in so to speak, of maturity, right? And the team that's less mature will deserve less time. The team will deserve more time, and the team that's more mature will deserve less time, right? And the team that's less mature you will have to work on improving all these processes. And remember, change is slow. It takes time. It might take 1 year. It might take 6 months. It might take a couple of months, right? Change is slow. Processes, people, multiple things are involved, multiple moving parts. So be patient and hang in there and keep trying to improve things as a Scrum Master. And that's my message for today. So that about sums it up for what I was trying to explain to this candidate. And I thought of coming live and explaining to everyone else, how do you manage multiple teams? That was my response, and that is what I would reply to this recruiter, to this person who was the hiring person, the Scrum Master who was interviewing this candidate. And I think if you do this much, they would be very impressed. And those are my 2 cents, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have stuck around till the end, you're a real one. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Looking for a job, click on the link down below. Let's set up a mentorship. One of the best. Thank you so much for watching. Adios, amigos.